Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I am very excited about today's guest because I think it's going to dispel a myth that real estate agents, they either need to have quantity, meaning work by referral, or they can have, quality, meaning they work by referral, or quantity, which means they have to buy leads. And my intent today is to dispel that myth and help you realize that you can actually have the best of both worlds. And I'm excited about having Miss Laura Gillott here with me today. Laura, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. I'll start by saying I've got a more sultry voice than normal. And so if the audience is wondering, like, this is really enjoyable, I'm not going to charge you for this episode. This one will also be free, despite how much you might enjoy my relaxing voice. So with that being the case, let's dive into the topic, Laura. Again, let's kind of share some of your statistics. You're with the Gillott home team out of Lebanon, Oregon.
Yep.
Small town. How many people live in Lebanon?
About 16,800 people.
16,800 people. Yep. Last year from Salem to Eugene, you guys served 523 families.
526 families.
26.
Yes. Those four.
526 families were served by your team.
Yes.
So one would have to think, if you serve that many families, you must have a massive Zillow budget. You must have a massive cold market marketing machine. True or false?
False. Very false.
Okay.
So we buy no Zillow leads. We are a premier agent on our listings. Oh, we got someone trying to drag race in front of our building here. Sorry about that. Yes, good old Lebanon. So our budget's small with Zillow. We're just a premier agent with our leads there, and about 80% of all of our business last year was just based off relationships.
Wow. So let's do the math. Let's say 80% of 523. I made a commitment once to never do math in public, but that's got to be somewhere around 450. I'm assuming somewhere in that range.
Yep. So
referrals, like either past clients or referrals, you guys close based on, or that's how much business you close by referral from your sphere.
Yeah. So, and we put sphere involved in that, or people who have referred themselves, from our reputation and things that just came in and said, hey, I want to list my home with you. I'd like you to help us find property. And part of that is because we meet a lot of people through our events, and we offer classes, and we do things to help, the community in buying homes. And then that helps us, get those people walking in, wanting us to assist them.
So I think one of the big myths, again, that real estate agents face is, do I go quality sphere or do I go quantity cold leads? And what I hear you saying is that, because I think when you look at that, you're saying, like, I could never possibly know enough people to have that generate a mass amount of business by sphere, right? So let's talk about, it's not just your sphere, right? You have a great team.
We do. And we bring their sphere involved in this too. And we market to that sphere. We give them the newsletter each month. We invite them to the events. Of course, all of our past clients, we offer, items of value. Like we do the pies twice a year with our client database. But anybody that gets the newsletter is invited to the rest of the events. Like we pair up with the chamber and do National Night Out. We next month we have Biz Expo. So we'll invite the whole database to the Biz Expo, let them know if they visit the booth that we have something special for them. And you're just trying to get as much face-to-face time with our clients as possible.
I love it. That's the goal, right? Face-to-face time with your clients in an era filled with bits and bytes where there's so much convenience in doing things electronically. To you, that's been your secret sauce, is getting face-to-face with people.
Yep, getting face-to-face. And then, it's for us, we don't do any like cold calling, but what we do is lead with items of value or lead with contribution. So we'll call and say, hey, we have an investor class coming up on Saturday. Do you have any interest in coming, or do you know anybody that does? And so that way we're just not calling saying, hey, give me your business, give me your business, give me your business.
I love it. So again, the way that I see you solving these two problems or busting these myths, today's episode is going to be Mythbusters. The first one is, you've got a combined sphere, you've got a good sized team, and all those people contribute who they know. The second, again, I think myth that people have is, even if I had that many people, how could I possibly take care of them? How could I possibly get face to face with that many people? And what I hear you saying is a key to your success has been events, both ones that you're putting on, right? Like client appreciation events, classes, and then also events that you're not even hosting, like the Business Expo. It's not your event, you've got a space there, but you're using that as an opportunity to reach out and invite everybody to come participate at that event.
Yep. The Boys and Girls Club did a brew fest, and they shut down Main Street. And so we asked to have a booth there, and then we gave away a growler, and then we invited people to come down and visit us at the event. It helped market the event for the Boys and Girls Club, helped them raise money. When they signed up for the growler, we had over 500 people sign up for the growler. A handful of them, said, yes, I would like a market analysis, or I would like a list of properties, and I would like to be on your newsletter. And now once they say they would like to be on our newsletter, we can continue telling them about the other events that are going to be happening in the area and where we're going to be at. So we can continue that connection with folks. And you do it on a mass level without spending that much money.
Right. I mean, what does a booth at the Expo, the business Expo, cost you?
A couple $100.
$200.
Yeah.
It turns into probably thousands of invitations and hundreds of contacts.
Yes.
Hundreds of face-to-face contacts with a couple $100 and some people staffing an event.
Right. And then the agents go, we just take turns, rotating in and out of there. We try to make a most of every event. So even at that event, because there's going to be, 150 other booths there. So we like to get protein packs, a water bottle, go around and visit the other booths, give them, an option to get something out of our cooler, thank them for coming, learn a little bit about their business, ask them if they have any clients with real estate needs. We'd like to be their connection. Then we connect with them, they connect with us. It's a way to go around and talk to people without just saying, hey, we're a real estate team. We'd love for you to give us our business. If you go with contribution and give them the protein packs and a water, of course, we have it labeled with our team on there that it's a way to break the ice and to come from contribution.
The intentionality is strong in what you guys do, right? You don't just show up in an expo. I think we've all probably been a part of some sort of expo where we're like, this thing's kind of a bust. Nobody's here. But you're looking like another layer below that to say, no, there are people here. They're sitting in the booths like us, thinking like this thing is maybe not as strong. And I'm not saying this about the business expo, right? That's a mentality of like, what if we go to this expo and there's nobody there? Yeah, well, there's absolutely going to be somebody there. It's going to be other vendors at minimum, right? Go create some new contacts, offer value to them.
Right.
So now you brought them into the fold, into the family.
Yep. So there's definitely people there, and when we're there. We're not looking at our phones. We're heads up. We're engaging. We're asking people to sign up for our drawing. We're offering them a free piece of cake. It's just the little things that we can do just to get the buzz going. And then again, you have to invite your database to come to the event, because then people want to stop at your because they've been invited to come by.
I'll bet if I were hosting, like if I were putting on a big expo, your team would be the first one I would call. I would say, get the Gillott home team there, because they're going to bring a crowd of people, right? Let's give them a discounted price to get in, because we're going to get a lot of people through the door just because of how they promote their events.
Yeah. And we do have that with different community events here and nonprofits. They're like, can you put this in your newsletter, or can you invite your database to come to this? So we just help get the word out for that. And we want to they support us and support them and their ventures. And, the more that they can help guide people with their real estate needs to us, the more we can contribute back to them.
And at the core of all of that is, how do we build and strengthen relationships? How do we serve families? How do we help them take care of their real estate needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super powerful.
So it is very powerful. And as I mentioned earlier, that's just part of the equation of making this work. When a client does get referred to you, got to make sure you have the systems in place that you provide them that wow customer service from start to finish and the great communication. So when they leave there, they want to be your realtor. They want you to be their realtor for life. They want to be part of the community of the Gillott Home Team and be involved with our events and things. If you don't do a good job, they're not going to come back.
Yeah, you're right. And we've talked about this before, that it doesn't matter how good your events are. If the real estate service on the back end isn't great, it doesn't matter. Like, they'll love you as a party planner and as a community organizer, but they might not love you as a real estate agent. So tell me, how do you, with all the effort you guys put in getting face-to-face with people, how do you be sure to not take your eye off the ball of, we actually need to serve people at a really high level from a real estate standpoint?
So we did have systems in place let's just talk about from a listing, from the very first time they walk through the door or say they have a need, all the way to the end. It's pretty much systemized out that there is a person and a checklist and communication that's going to happen all the way along the way. And to the point where, like, the agents have conversation with their clients weekly. They're doing a recap. The recap goes to the the client and to us, the leadership team, and to the listing success team that helps with the admin. And they do that weekly. And then the leadership calls, twice a month to just check in with our clients, just to make sure everything's going well, because you just can't let time go by. So they're calling, we're calling, and then the success team calls once a week also, or excuse me, once a month also. They're just checking to make certain their sign's standing straight, that there's no issues. Did you see the latest advertisement we did? You get a chance to review everything, just to make certain that there's all that communication that's going on. So if a ball gets dropped or if someone's having some issues, that we can correct it right away and not let it go on.
Jeez, by design, right? Not by chance, by design.
Yes, that's right. It has to be by design. And all the checklists that are formed, anytime there was been a break or there's been something that was missed, then we know we need to up our system so that way it doesn't happen again, that we make certain that everything gets covered. So we fail forward on everything. And we view failure as a blessing, because when we fail at something, then at least if it's brought to our attention, we can fix it. And that way no one else has to experience that in the future.
I've heard you talk about this before. When it comes to events, you use a very similar methodology. Yeah. Is that you've got very specific checklists, and if something goes awry, it immediately gets added to the checklist that, well, this is the one time we'll have this problem here. Yeah. From here on, it's going to be solved. Yeah. And before I started making it more systemized, I used to just try to keep everything between my ears and try to run it all and delegate everything out. And there was a lot of loose ends, and I, wasn't being a great, agent. I wasn't being a great event host because I just didn't have any systems in place. We were kind of winging it off of our experience, but not writing things down and not having checklists. So the nice thing is now is that no matter if we get a new admin person that's going to come help, they can grab that checklist and start working on it without me having to explain every step. Every step's written down, and where they need to order things is written down. Everything's there, what the quantity is. And we just really work it as a system that it can, each year the event can get better and better. I love what you said about being able to be a good event host. There's nothing probably more frustrating than something starts going awry. You've got your client base in front of you. Yeah. You can't focus on that because you're trying to solve a problem. The whole goal is to get face to face and really have a deep human connection with them. And you can't because you're worried about the logistics. Yes. Yeah. And that was at the very beginning. I was, red faced and running around and trying to get everything done. And I was the only person that knew what to do at that point in time. So a lot of times the things are hosted at my house. So I knew where the extension cord were. I knew where the chairs were. I knew where the ladder where it was. So I was the one running around getting everything done and trying to get help, but it was almost faster to do it myself than to ask somebody else to do it. So then that's when I, through coaching, helped, saying, hey, you need to get some systems down. So that way all that stuff's taken care of, ahead of time, and that you have people on point to help with getting this done. And it just makes it a lot easier. Many hands make light work, and that's totally true with the events too. And the nice thing about events, it's scalable. So when we first started out, our event was smaller. So as we grew, we just could add layer and layer and layer each year. It's not like we started out and did a big event at the very beginning. Talk to us about that. Like, what is your, in fact, I would love it if you would share. I know you've done this in the past. Yes. Some tool or resource that would help somebody get started. Again, they may not be at a point to scale quite like you are. Yeah. But your checklists are powerful and your systems are powerful. Is there something that we could share with the audience after this that would help them start the process? Yeah, I'll give you our checklist for our Pork and Tunes event. That's our client event. And so that way they can take that checklist and then make it their own. And maybe it will remind them they do need 3 extension cords, and they do need whatever we have on our list. And that just kind of gives you a basis how to get your list started and how detailed it needs to be. So I can definitely get that emailed over to you after we're done here, so we can share that. I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah. And so when we first started, it was small. It was just a small band and maybe 100 people, not even probably 100, maybe like 80 people. And then it's just grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. And each year we're just able to make it better and then add more things to our event. So, now we have a car show. Now we have closest to the pin. We have lots of games for the kids. There's Texas Hold'em in the shop. There's just a lot more to the event now that we never would have done that at the very beginning. But over time has gone on, we are able to had an additional layer. We have a face painter. We have someone that makes ice cream there. It just keeps getting better and better. It's like a carnival. It's like Disneyland in Lebanon. Yes. Well, I appreciate this conversation. I guess that in conclusion, I just like to add that you based on your example, your model, you can have both. You can have a lot of production and just work with people that you like and that already know you and trust you without having to delve in to chase internet leads.
Yep, and they're a lot easier, and they're a lot easier to convert. If you can talk to someone who already knows and trusts you, or it's referred to someone who already knows and trusts you, it just makes that whole relationship moving forward a lot easier. And then you just maintain that trust all the way through, and then break the barriers that you are going to go over and above for that client, and you are going to have great communication, and that you're just not doing it for the one and done transaction. You're really wanting to be their realtor for life and their friends and family. You want to be their valuable resource. And you have to explain that to them, and you have to ask for business too during that. It just doesn't come naturally for people to refer without you putting it top of mind.
I appreciate you saying that, Laura, because I think one of the big pitfalls of a referral-based business is people think that just by serving people and loving on them, that the referrals are going to come. That as long as I invite them to my event, that there's going to be some reciprocation. And I wish it were that easy, but the reality is something else, right? You actually have to ask. Talk to us really quickly. I was going to end, but this is so good, I can't stop. How do you give us an example or two of at those events, how you make sure that they know that you want their business and their referrals? What does that sound like without standing salesy and
yeah. So how we found it to be most effective is at our client event, 3 or 4 years ago, we started doing door prizes, and we'd have clients come up to our booth that was sitting in the yard with some help from admin and agents that would say, hey, please sign up. And we had a bunch of stuff that we'd bought at community auctions and things that we were letting expire. So it was let's put all this stuff together and give this stuff away. Better yet to give it to our clients than anybody else. So we had everything out. We'd have people sign up. And the nice thing about there is that they can then mark if they had, if they would like an updated market analysis, if they'd like a list of homes for sale, if they'd like to receive our newsletter, if they were a guest and they weren't already on our newsletter. And they could talk to agents right there face to face in the booth and say, hey, we got some, we'd like to buy some investment property this year. And they say, great, let me write that down. And then when we collect all those, and the next week we then can sit down and go through all the entry forms and figure out, who's got needs right now that we can service. And before we had that system, maybe we had a few people come up and say, I have a need. And then the next day I'd be like, oh my gosh, who said that? I thought I'd remember, but now I can't remember who came up and talked to me about real estate. So this was a way that they at least could write it down, and we'd have a system to follow up later. And before we would get kind of some business from osmosis, but after having them sign in, if they have a need, they're going to tell us right then they have a need.
What's the question that you asked to make it, and you may have already said it, but I'm going to have you restate it, that once they tell you, you keep track of it, you write it down so that you don't lose it, forget it. How do you initiate that to get them talking about their real estate needs?
Yeah, so it really isn't a conversation when it's a big event like Pork and Tunes, because there's 500 people there. You don't have time to have that event. And I don't ask them there. I just say, hey, how are you doing? Just have small talk with them at that point. But when they go to the booth, there's 3 questions on that entry form to sign up for the doors prize item.
Okay, yeah.
And then that's where they write that down on that sheet right there. And before we weren't capturing those leads at that event. And now we have a way to capture them. We also can look back and say, how many did we capture last year? How many did we get the year before? And then it gives us a drive. Last year we had 230 people sign up. This year, let's try to get more than that. Let's make certain that we're, the agents, when they're standing in the food line, that they're walking along with the clipboard saying, hey, have you signed up for our drawings? And sitting there having a conversation when they're standing in the food line, because that makes the time go by faster. And it's a way to, they're not that they're trapped there to talk to you, but you have a chance that you sit and chit chat with someone while they're waiting in food line. So just making the most of every opportunity to have that face to face.
So at the client appreciation events, you aren't necessarily bringing it up, but at the expos and the other events, via a raffle form, having them sign up for a raffle form, one of the questions is, what are your real estate needs? Or referral opportunities? Okay.
Yeah. And we find that it's just an easy way to get the business back to you.
Yeah. If you're asking and they and then you follow up.
Yeah. And follow up. Yep.
This is always so good, Laura. You have so much to share. I know everyone that I've ever talked to about you thinks you're, number one, a fantastic person. And number 2, just an amazing producer. So I'm going to put up here on the screen for those that don't know her and would like to get in contact with her. I know our audience is primarily real estate agents. So if you have any referrals between Eugene and Salem, Laura is a great resource. I highly recommend her and her systems and her teams. They really invite you and your referrals into the family and take great care of you, as you can tell. So Laura, I want to thank you again for your time and contributing to the Think Bigger Real Estate audience. Appreciate our friendship and all that you do.
Thank you very much. When I send out that checklist for you, I'll also put when our next event is, which is July 27th. And you guys are more than welcome to come down I-5 corridor and come visit us and come to our event.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for the invite. We'll get that out as well. So, all right, my friend, thank you again. Thanks, everybody.